Welcome parents, faculty, staff, administration, distinguished guests, extended family, all of you. Thank you all for being here tonight because each and every one of you has played a role in getting us to where we are today. Without all of you, all of us working together towards this day, we would not be here. Particularly because for a long time you guys were our rides. Though I've heard it way too many times recently, it's crazy how quickly 4 years can go by. And some 1,440 trips to and from school later, with plenty more performances, openings, and rehearsals. It seems like every single one of them was just yesterday. For a lot of those rides, we took the bus, Metro Mover, Metro Rail, and since freshman year, I've saved up every single card I got. This is what 1,500 rides looks like. Pretty thick, but I took more than just an inch of Metro cards out of this school. I remember the first card during summer orientation, and actually even before that, I think we can all remember opening our email on March 15th. I even remember the day. March 15th, 2013. I ran to the library after school and desperately tried to log into my email to check. My fingers stumbling and typing the wrong password several times, but eventually, all the while my heart racing, I was able to log in. When I finally got in, the first email was from NWSA audition results, and it said, uh-oh. I thought to myself, no congratulations in the subject line? I had just enough time to overthink for a second while the email opened, and then I read it. It started, we are pleased to inform that you have been selected. I didn't read the rest. Maybe I should have finished it, but I was too excited, too happy to read anymore. The next day after I opened the email, it was Rising Stars, and I truly did not understand what the school I would be attending for the next 4 years was until I witnessed that. Wow. On stage, there were kids just a little bit older than I was, singing, dancing, acting, and performing amazing pieces, professional level pieces. And that's when I truly began to understand what New World was. That same feeling of wonder, amazement, and of joy has filled me at every single performance, from a choir concert freshman year, to Children of Eden, to dance spring concerts and playwrights festivals, to amazingly long jazz performances. And to every time I stepped in that first floor gallery for just a few moments, the art that we create and we are surrounded by and we so take for granted is breathtaking. And it has truly been amazing to have that be a part of our development at this school. We have been surrounded by endless creativity and stimuli and by the achievements of those around us, our class more so than ever before. With what we have accomplished, with what we have created, with where we'll go, it's sometimes easy to think that all of this is normal, but it is not. New World is not, never was, and never will be normal. In what other school would we have gotten to see such amazingly produced Black history and Hispanic heritage shows? Events like Mr. and Mrs. New World. It's not a school like any one of our home schools. Our art makes us greater as a group than we could ever be individually. 4 years later, we are people who look at the pigment of someone's canvas rather than of their skin, the language of their arias rather than of their parents, and their preference of music above their preference of partner. We do not bully each other based on who we are, we do not exclude, we do not separate or differentiate, we embrace. We smile and we hug after concerts, we sweat and grit through rehearsals, but all of that we do together. At this school, we are all one fighting pigeon family, and it is precisely our differences that unite us. Learning to accept and embrace those differences has made us the school and the people we are today, and has transformed us from the first day of freshman year to this last day of high school. Coming from different middle schools, different areas, and even some different counties, I doubt that any of us could have expected this, but what a wonderful adventure this has been. When we're at Juilliard, Northwestern, Columbia, Yale, Carnegie, Florida, WashU, Tufts, Harvard, not bad for an art school. I hope that we never forget those parts of us that make us different and make us stand out, because they are so easy to put away. Those shouts of eccentricity and what we wear and what we listen to are so important. They are easy to brush aside and to conform to be like the rest of the people around us. But let's take what we learned here and carry it with us. Let's fight for arts funding. Let's fight for arts education. Let's attend as many exhibitions and concerts and plays as we can. And let's take in all of the art scene that is around us. And not just arts, Public education as well. Mr. Carvalho, you spoke about seeing one side of the highway and the other, and that is so true. One side benefits, and we have benefited from the most amazing. Everyone on this stage is a product of the amazing public education that we received. And we are going to the places, we are going to the schools because of the amazing education we received. We need to fight for everyone on both sides of the highway to receive that same education. And you are doing a great job of doing that. Thank you. We need to write emails, we need to make calls, we need to talk to our representatives and our leaders because we are the ones responsible for carrying that tolerance that we have learned with us and proselytizing it to the rest of the world. Even to just a couple people around us, it makes a huge difference. More than the name, more than the reputation, more than 4 walls and 9 stories, more than 5 academic periods and 2 arts blocks, more than hours and hours and hours of practice and rehearsals, of cuts and bruises and paint stains and sweat stains as well. We are all that and more when we take our art and set forth on it together. There's a word for what we've learned, tolerance, and more so in this day than ever before. When we as a nation have become so polarized, it is tolerance, it is open-mindedness, and it is especially our art that can make the difference. When we hear about rockets and missiles fired in the Middle East, of a revolution and oppression, let us remind ourselves to bring out the best in all of us. Our composition and our pieces, our plays, our art can be a guiding force for change. I'm amazed at us, how long it's been, how far we've come, who we've become. You guys are amazing, and everything I've learned and become for 4 years has been made possible by someone in this room. Our amazing teachers, our tireless teachers. Our amazing faculty, us, our parents, everybody. We made it possible. We did it. So thank you, and though this won't be the last time I say goodbye, even this week, this is a very, very bittersweet goodbye. Congratulations for the class of 2017 that now becomes the class of 21. Blue.
Sorry, I had to find the page. Good evening, students, parents, teachers, distinguished guests. Tonight is a unique night for everyone in this room, not by virtue of our individual greatness or accomplishment, but by the collective success of the group of bright, talented, passionate students sitting behind me. The last 4 years have been, in the simplest of terms, a journey. Normal high school is hard. As we've learned, New World is far from normal, and by extension, far from easy. I think every person on this stage can attest to that, as can every person in this room by their assessment of our tired, sunlight-starved faces. But I'm not here to talk about how difficult these years have been, as I know that if I went off on that tangent, I would be speaking for hours, possibly days, about my own experiences. We knew our freshman year that New World was going to be demanding. Whether we found that out prior to our audition or in the face of our first Pride and Prejudice Remus test is dependent on the person, but we all knew what we were agreeing to when we committed ourselves to this school. The incredible thing about New World School of the Arts is present plain and simple in its name, art. It is something that with certainty everyone in our class shares. The impetus to create, to be creative, and to share our creativity is in all of us. But with art comes its vulnerabilities. And while vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change, we, as humans, as awkward, gangly, insecure teenagers, hesitate to bare our souls to the world. But that was where New World came in. And suddenly there was a place for our art. There was a place for our vulnerability and insecurity and expression and growth. There was a place we could come to and unload, whether it be through a sculpture or a scene, a dance piece or a movement. There was a place where we could try new things without the fear of judgment or shame, where we could explore who we are and exist and live and change. We are a generation of change. It's evident in our culture. We are a generation of discovery in a tired time of social division and hatred. New World gave us a place to change, to grow, to create. Change is scary. We're all intimately aware of that, but change is necessary for growth. In the past 4 years, we have changed in a vast, all-encompassing way, from our sense of fashion, to our opinions, to our taste in food, and even to our hair. We are most definitely not the same small children that walked through those clear glass double doors in 2013. And now, we're on the verge of a brand new type of change, college. And though I myself approach it with apprehension and excitement, I know that we, the class of 2017, have nothing to worry about. We have barreled and braved through countless changes. We know how to take, adapt, and create, and that is why I find our class to be so exceptional. To put it candidly, as Pearl Buck once said, the truly creative mind in any field is no more than this: a human creature born abnormally, inhumanly sensitive. To him, a touch is a blow, a sound is a noise, a misfortune is a tragedy, a joy is an ecstasy, a friend is a lover is a god, and failure is death. Add to this cruelly delicate organism the overpowering necessity to create, create, create. So without the creating of music or poetry or books or buildings or something of meaning, his very breath is cut off from him. He must create, must pour out creation. By some strange, unknown inward urgency, he is not really alive unless he is creating. My amazing class of 2017, you have done just that. In the last 4 years, we have created and created and created and created and produced beautiful pieces of work and had wonderful, stimulating conversations and asked overreaching, bound-breaking questions and made everlasting memories. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting me and challenging me. Thank you for keeping me on my toes and pushing me to work harder. Thank you for sharing your art with me. Thank you for making this the best experience I could have possibly had. Finally, to my beautiful class, I will leave you with this. There are times that you will be climbing a mountain for what feels like forever. You will be tired, and you will look up at the peak of the mountain and notice that it is a speck, far and distant, out of reach. Looking forward, you have so much more to go. Sometimes it is good, rather than to look ahead, to glance behind and stop in wonderment. There is a road you have carved behind you. There is progress you have made. Yes, you may not be at the peak yet, but you have braved many sharp rocks and steep inclines and jagged pathways. You have come a long way, and though you are not done yet, you are not there at the peak. There is room for celebration of what you have already tracked, what you have already done, and how you have grown. Thank you to everyone who has helped me along this journey, to my mom and my dad, and my sisters and my godparents who are here, and my grandma who came from Venezuela to see me graduate. Thank you so much. Congratulations, class of 2017. Continue to create and grow and challenge the world. Now we can clap.